Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our pre-arrival webinar. My name is Henny, I'm International Affairs Coordinator, and today we have very special guest alongside with me, MacDonald, and Amy is NBCC instructor, and Keisha Peters. Keisha is also former graduate student, and she is instructor at NBCC, and I'll pass word to Amy, and you can just tell about your role at NBCC in a few words.
All right, I'm Amy MacDonald, as we've heard. I work at the Fredericton campus, and I am an instructor in the business analysis program. I'm also an instructor in the business administration program, as well as the coordinating instructor of that program. So teach across a number of different programs. I teach some in the IT program or analyst program as well. So have some familiarity with the programs that we offer both throughout NBCC as a whole and at the Fredericton campus.
Thank you, Amy. And Keisha?
All right, so I'm Keisha Peters. I am an instructor on the Fredericton campus. I instruct in the IT business analysis program. And I'm originally from Jamaica.
Nice. Thank you guys for participation. Thank you all the students who is watching our webinars. We receive a lot of feedbacks, your question, people recognize us on the street, and thank you for all your intention. And as you know, I communicate with a lot of international students. I hear your questions and your concern. We understand that studying in Canada could be a very exciting and challenging time, and the questions that I receive from students, I've decided to invite NBCC instructors so I can address your questions on behalf of international community. So I will imagine that I'm international students who just show up in Canada, and I don't know, because education system could be different from country to country, and I will ask the questions that I heard from students, and I will address it to you guys. So I hope you can provide the information so students will be more aware what to expect. Let's start with academic year, because a lot of students wondering, okay, I'm coming to Canada, I might have some background in university, in my college, and if you can give me an idea how the academic year look like what the schedule look like, what courses do I need to take, is it predetermined, or can I pick up, and if you can provide overview on this. We'll start with Amy, and Keisha will add to this.
All right. So most of our programs will be starting in September, the vast majority of them, the first week of September. Our academic year runs from September to June with 3 terms. So sort of from September to December, then January to April, and April to June. Classes start at 8:30 and run until 3:20 Monday to Friday. So that can be sometimes a bit of a difference for people, especially like we've heard if they've come from university. So we do kind of have this full-time schedule where it's 8:30 to 3:20. And then we have usually it's almost 3 weeks over the Christmas or the winter break. And then we have a break in the spring for 1 week. And then we go kind of right through almost sort of to the 2nd or 3rd week of June. So it's a fairly rigorous schedule to get used to.
And students always ask me about this. It's like, are we going to have a break during the study? Is it like lunch breaks?
Yes, good point.
Yeah.
So classes are typically 50 minutes. So sometimes you'll have 2 classes in a row, but you'll have 50 minutes of class and then a 10-minute break, and then 15 and 10-minute, and then from 12:30 to 1:30. I think that's the same at all campuses. From 12:30 to 1:30, we do have a lunch break, and then at 3:20, you're free to sort of do your own thing.
It does take some getting used to those. It's, I'd say, quite different from how timetable is structured on at the university level, because you're in classes all day. So it's not a case where you just go in for like 1 class or just a couple of classes per day. You just have that same timetable every day. So you're in class for that all the time. So it takes a while to adjust it.
Thank you, Keisha. So as you hear, guys, the classes are predetermined, the courses are predetermined. There is no options for you to choose the programs, and you're gonna have your breaks and lunch, so don't worry about this, because students always ask me like, are we going to have lunch and the breaks and holidays and all that stuff? So yes, you're going to have it. I just forgot to ask our guests to speak about the programs that you are teaching at NBCC. Sorry guys. So start with Emmy, if you can give us idea what programs do you teach at NBCC.
Okay, so do you mean like details of the courses?
Yeah, no, just in general.
Yeah, okay. So I teach in the business analysis program, and that is a 1-year postgraduate program. So typically our students already have a degree. A lot of times they'll have a master's. It's a class of typically around 16, and we do 2 terms of in-class study, and then the final term is an optional or kind of an elective where you can do a on-the-job training, or we call them practicums, or work integrated learning. I also teach in the business administration programs where we have specializations at the Fredericton campus in accounting and in marketing. So those are 2-year programs. They're a little bit different in that the acceptance criteria is different, but we do also do an on-the-job or a practicum at the end of those programs as well. It's just a little bit shorter. It's about 5 weeks. I teach some in the IT programmer analyst program where we have a 2-year program in that. Do some project management and that type of thing, but all of these programs sort of do have that same timetable in that we start at 8:30, we go till 3:20, Monday to Friday, every day. So that's consistent across all of our programs.
Yeah, great. So guys, everyone who is going to study in Fredericton campus, IT business analyst, please meet Emmy MacDonald. So don't be afraid, because students wondering who are the instructors. So we are just human beings. We don't bite, so no worries about this. And everyone who is going to study IT business analyst will see him.
And business administration. And we're super glad to see you all. So if you see either of us, please come up to us, introduce yourselves, speak to us.
Yeah.
We're really nice.
Yeah, we're nice people.
Yeah, because students I don't want to what's the word about the failures and all that stuff. So don't worry about this, guys. We're here to help you. And Keisha, a few words from you.
Yeah, I just must say, for the Caribbean folks, it was a huge adjustment when I just got here, because we're so used to being very formal with the instructor. So it's Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so. And when I got here, I realized, oh, you do call the instructors by their first names. So that was very different for me. But it kind of makes you more relaxed in the classroom, you know what I mean? It more feels like a level playing field more than okay, the instructor is right up there and you're way down there, you know what I mean? So it's so easier for you to get so comfortable in your own little space and study and do your own thing, you know?
Yeah, great. And what program do you teach at NBC?
I teach in the IT business analysis program.
So guys, we have 2 IT instructors. So it's like meeting online, so you know your instructors, and so thank you. Just another question that I hear a lot from NBCC students now, they understand in general what the schedule, what the academic year look like, and they ask me about the instructors. So you have chance to see instructors, and what's the NBCC expectation for students who come in to study at NBCC, because we come from different background, cultural background, educational background. Can you provide any advices for students, because they ask me what would be NBCC expectation and how to be successful, and some tips for academic learning?
I would say some expectations are that we do expect students to come to class.
Don't forget to come to class. Yes, it's fair enough.
Yeah, and you'll find that at the beginning you'll have probably very structured. So you really should be there on time and attend all of your classes. And then as you get more familiar with the way that each instructor has laid out their courses, some of that might change a little bit. Sometimes we have work classes, but you'll always know in advance. So I guess my biggest thing would be to show up on time, particularly at the beginning, until you get a feel for how things are going to go as the terms and as the academic year progresses. Another thing that I would say is to cut yourself some slack. And I know that that's kind of slang, but be easy on yourself because it's a big adjustment.
Right.
It's a big adjustment for all of our students, but it's a bigger adjustment for our international students because it's more than the academics that you're adjusting to. It's also a new place of living, a new country, new culture, new different ways of doing things, different food,
Yep.
different weather. You're going to find that that impacts you physically as well. But we're aware of that. And so, you know, and we'll try to recognize when, you know, when we think you may need some help or some, you know, and so just be easy on yourself, particularly at the beginning, because it does take some time to get used to everything. But we're here to help. So don't panic over anything, because there's rarely been anything, particularly academically, that we can't help you with.
Yeah.
And we're so more than willing to do that.
Yep.
So if you're struggling with something or if you have a question about something, please don't be silent about it. Let us know, because as soon as we know, we can help. And we have so many things that we can put in place to help you regardless of what it is, whether it's your academic studies, if it's sort of living arrangements, if it's, you know, something that you need as far as food, or we have all those supports in place. We have counseling, student services, they do a great job. So please, please don't be struggling in silence, because we have so many options to help.
Yep.
So that's kind of what
Yeah,
be what I would
thanks.
throw out
yeah.
there.
So yeah, I think it's a great information. I always keep saying to students that it's challenging, but we have amazing staff at each campus. We have student success center,
Yeah.
and we're familiar with a lot of the challenges that you might go. And Keisha, what's your thoughts on that from perspective of former NBCC student?
For me personally, I didn't have much of a challenge with the structure of the program itself, because I'm from Jamaica, so the education system is more of like a British standard. So it was quite easy for me to acclimatize myself with the structure of the program. I think my greatest challenge was food. Yeah, that for me was a huge adjustment, because I just could not find most of what I wanted to eat here. So that, you know, takes some, Amy was very helpful, you know, she gave suggestions and alternatives. That was really great. So it's important, and now that I've mentioned Amy, it's really important that you reach out to people. So don't be shy, don't just lock into your own little world and have your struggles and not mention it. It's important that you reach out to someone. Also, you're going to find that even though Fredericton is relatively a small city, you will get lost here if you don't know anyone. So it's important that you kind of get, you know, connected with a small group. You know, the multicultural center is there for you. You can actually go there and connect with maybe not people from your own country, but someone who is from a country that has similar lifestyle to yours.
Yep.
So you can actually have someone to relate to. That's important, because you're going to have your own little challenges where only people of your kind can relate to you, if that makes sense. So you actually need that little support group there to help you along the way. So that's what I did. I'm from, you know, there's a Caribbean Association here, so I do get connected with people from the Caribbean, and they were able to take me around and show me, you know, so if the temperature gets to this point, this is how you dress, and if it's there, that's how you dress, you know. So that's
And
really
the food,
important.
right?
Oh yeah, the food. So that was important, right? Yeah. So yes, and there's an alternative to patties, Jamaican samosas. So yeah, that can be had.
Great.
So, yeah. So you know, so those are the things. Outside of the classroom, those are the things will affect you. So it's really good that you are in a very the environment in which you exist is okay, because it does impact your studies negatively if everything is not fine, right? Yeah, so that was like kind of big challenge, and the weather itself too, because like the winter is really, apart from it being very cold, it's we were speaking about this earlier.
Yep.
It gets dark so soon in the afternoon, and then when you get up in the morning, when you get up in the mornings, it's really dark. So you're leaving when it's dark, and you're returning when it's dark. So it's like it weighs on you mentally. Yeah, so yeah, so those are my greatest challenges. But as Amy mentioned earlier, there's a great support system at the college, and once you reach out to those people, you'll get all the help that you need to adjust and do well in your studies.
Great, great. And I was wondering, what would be your, as an instructor, you would see a new international student coming this fall. What would be your expectation for students? As we understand, show up on time, guys. It would be, I think, all expectation for all of the students. And is there anything particular that you, especially like maybe related to your course, what would be?
I would just say show up on time. Be actively engaged. Don't just be physically present. You also need to be mentally present. And just ask questions. You know, it's going to be hard. You're going to be suffering from information overload. I've been there as an international student. I know what it feels like. So we're not expecting you to like just adjust instantly. It's going to be, you know, somewhat of a there's going to be a transition time. So take your time, ask questions along the way, and just let us know when you're having struggles. I think that's one of the expectations I would have of any international student. Don't be there struggling and not mention it, because sometimes we just don't know. Sometimes we will pick up on stuff, but there's some things that we will not know. So my expectation in that area, just advise us that, you know, you're struggling, and then we'll see how best we can assist. Right?
Great. Yeah. Thanks. So, yep.
And if I can just, and from a practical perspective as well, there's a couple of things that I would advise you to do, and that is to check your email consistently. Be checking your email, check your junk mail in case something has come from NBCC. That's important. Check your junk mail just in case. Check your email, and also when you arrive and your courses start, we do have a learning management system called Brightspace. So all of your courses will have its own unique space on Brightspace, and it's very important that you keep connected to that. All of the information you need. Everything that we do, all of our notes, all of our lectures, all of our assignments, any due dates that are upcoming, all of that information is in Brightspace. So I would encourage you to keep very, very connected within Brightspace and within your email. Those are kind of the two systems that we use consistently, and there's always important information in there.
It's great, and I keep saying this to the students, that speaking of your email, registration is coming on August 12th, so please check your email. You would need to register for your course, and basically by registration you're telling us that you are coming to study, and you will receive email from NBCC. And please don't forget to check your junk folders, because even in my case, I just checked my junk folders and I was surprised how many emails I received, and I was not aware of it. So yep, thank you. And sometimes the students like ask me, particularly yesterday, it's understandable that they in anticipation to start the course, and they ask me, can you give me advices? Let's take your course, IT Business Analysis Postgraduate Program. Students ask me, can I prepare for this course even before I come to Canada? What should I do? Can you give me like advices and books like that? As I understand from our conversation, don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself a time, because it's going to be the transition period. But other than that, is there anything students need to do, like specifically for your course? Is there any information they need to get, how to be successful and things like that?
I don't know that there's anything that you need to do.
Yep.
Because, you know, we're coming at it, you know, kind of with a clean slate, and we'll start right with the basics and move through. But if you were interested in wanting to do something, certainly research on what it means to be a business analyst. There's also a book that we will use in one of our courses throughout the entire program called it's called the BABOK, so BABOK, and it stands for the Business Analysis Body of Knowledge. And that's kind of the main reference book that we'll use. So if you can find a copy of that online, it's version 3 is the one that we use. It's a great sort of tool, and if you start to sort of skim through that or read through that, it'll give you a good idea of a lot of the things that we're going to be covering.
Yeah.
So for that program, for any other program, I would say just do a little bit of research on what it means to be in that type, like if it's a programmer analyst or if it's a marketing student or an accounting, just some research on what that means, you know, from a sort of career perspective, and even from your own goals, like to have a good idea of what you're trying to accomplish.
Great. Yeah, because I hear it a lot from students. They say, we cannot wait. I just want to start doing something prior to my courses because I'm so nervous. I feel like I want to be productive. Is anything from your side?
You know, in addition to what Amy said for the business analysis program, there's going to be a bit of research that you'll have to do in all of your courses. So I'd recommend that, you know, if you're kind of weak in that area, try to sharpen up on that a bit, you know, how to do your keyword searches and all that, because that's going to impact some of the pieces that you have to submit, right? Yeah, so just do some researching. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So guys, take your time, do some researches if you feel like you need to, if it's not, because I know there is a lot of challenges coming, entry to Canada, the immigrate, because we talked about this in previous webinar, like entry to Canada, you're gonna meet immigration officer at airport, transition housing. So take your time. We're gonna have your adjustment period, but if you want to do something, you can do some research pre-record. It's not mandatory, but some of the students, they just can't wait.
That's understandable.
And that's what I usually tell students, but they no, can you give me like particular ways to prepare it? Because and we really appreciate this attitude too. Speaking about studying and preparation, can you provide maybe, you know, maybe you observe some challenges, the common challenges that international students have when they study, and the ways they can overcome this or something that, you know, all the students, you know, face every time they start to study in a course, something like they might not be aware. Like this one, I think it's a great example. Students want to do research, they want to start for the course preparation, but at the same time, guys, it's a lot of it's not what you might to do in the first place. You just need to take your time and transition. Maybe there's any challenges that, you know, you observe over the years with international students.
Usually language. Yeah, language is the challenge that we see, especially, you know, particularly with writing and speaking. And we do a lot of presentations in class, presenting in front of people. So that tends to be a challenge. And if I can just be frank, I've had so many students at the beginning of a year just sort of come up to me and say, you know, I don't know if I can do this. I don't feel like my English is up to par or is appropriate, and I just encourage them, just stick with it, keep trying. The more you practice, the better you're going to get, and there'll be so much opportunity both in class and with your peers and your colleagues, and every time. You know, once the first or the second term is over and I go back to that student, I say, they're always much better. They're always like, no, I'm good now, I've got it, you know, I'm getting more comfortable. So that, I would say that's a challenge. So stick with it and be prepared for that, but don't be discouraged by that. We're expecting that. So if you can expect it, and just, we'll help you and we'll encourage you, and you will overcome that.
Thanks. And to be honest with you, I felt the same way. I mean, by my nature, I'm very communicative, but I felt there is some gaps in like I have some, not language barrier, but there is some slang or expression I didn't understand. But
yes.
With time, I get used to it, and don't just keep going, even if it seems like it's impossible. You're gonna get there. Just once again, take your time. There is going to be adjustment period. Don't be hardened on yourself. It's challenges that everyone, especially if English is your first language, gonna face. What about you, Kisha? Is there any challenges that you would observe and see?
I think for international students, they have a lot going on, as I mentioned earlier. So apart from studies, there are other things that they have to deal with. I'd recommend proper time management, because I see in cases where if a lot, in the past, if time is not managed properly, the students tend to struggle, right? So that's what I'd recommend that you do. Try to plan ahead and just make sure that you can take care of yourself well, and also be able to do well in your studies. Yeah.
Great. Now, I think all the students said we really appreciate for your information, but they will also have opportunity to ask questions. And guys, if you have questions, please type it now, and we will jump to our question and answer session. So you can ask all the questions that related to academic, and we'll try to give you the best answer possible. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we jump into Q&A?
Yeah, great.
Okay.
No, we missed the academic integrity item.
Yeah, it's very important.
And I just want to briefly talk about that just a little bit. So, because, we see this year after year, particularly around things like plagiarism. So we're talking about academic integrity. And I just want to throw this out there to folks who may be listening. When we have assignments, so if you're given an assignment, a research paper, or a project, it's a way that we are assessing. We're trying to determine if you are understanding and learning the material that we're teaching. So there's two purposes to that. We're trying to determine, are you understanding and learning? And we're also trying to gauge, are we teaching properly? So it's very important that when you do your assessment items, that it's your own work. Because if you're submitting something that you've copied and pasted from online, it doesn't give us a good sense that you personally are understanding what we're teaching. And it doesn't give us an opportunity to determine, is there something that I, as an instructor, could be doing differently so you would understand better? So I would just stress the importance of submitting your own work, being cognizant of that, and making sure that you're not copying work from other people, from the internet, that type of thing. We do expect students to do research and use all those tools for sure, but there is an expectation that the assessment items that you're submitting will be your own personal work and your own personal demonstration of your understanding of what we're teaching.
Great.
That makes sense?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's very important topics that I skip. Academic integrity, guys. Be honest and listen to advice of our instructor. Is there anything?
And we do use a useful tool on Brightspace to kind of manage that as well. So we have Turnitin, and for those types of submissions, we do have we attach Turnitin to the submission folder. So you can actually see for yourself how your submission matches up against previous submissions and so on. So if it's too much, if you get flagged, if it goes above 15%, you can go back and change whatever and resubmit. So there are actually tools there to assist you if you violate it in any way, right? Yeah.
So it's very important for students to be honest and submit your work. And yeah, guys, I hope you find this information helpful, and let's jump into the question from students and see what they think about this and what questions they have. Just give me a few seconds, guys. Here we go. How many questions we have? Hi, Henny and Claire. Hi, Claire is on vacation. Claire, if you're watching it, hi. But Claire is our immigration advisor.
Okay.
And Claire provides advices on immigration and the pathway from student to permanent residence. So Claire is not here usually with me, but she's on vacation. So the question is, I believe incorrect link was sent to us to watch the health insurance webinar. The link sent for webinar number 5. Okay, so I will thank you for letting us know. I will take it in account to provide you to provide you a right link for health insurance webinar, and we will follow up with you later, because the last time we did health insurance webinar, and it's probably a typo in the link. And I just want to let you know that all the webinars are going to be uploaded on our NBCC website under international students, and we have section resources. It's not done yet because we have not finished all our pre-arrival webinars, but as soon as it's going to be done, we will upload all the webinars that we did. The pre-arrival, 8 pre-arrival webinars are going to be uploaded on the website. But thank you for your questions. Okay, so the question comes, my course length is 2 years, so my question is there any option like fast track course available so that I can complete my course within 1 year? So guys, is there any shortcut?
No.
No, unfortunately not. No.
So, yes.
I believe it's what, 60% of the workload you have to do per year, right? To be considered a full-time student?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then how many for your particular course, how many courses would you expect the students to take per year?
Per term, it's usually 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, usually 1 or 2 of those are kind of shorter online courses, but you'll have probably 6 full, like,
main
comprehensive
courses,
main courses. Yeah.
Yep. Great, thank you. So as you can see, the students are wondering if there's a shortcut, if there's a lunch break. So
you can get exemptions, but for you to be considered a full-time student, you have to do 60% of the courses that are allotted to you. Right.
Yep. So unfortunately, or fortunately, there is no shortcut, guys. So what is the schedule for French course going in the campus? Thanks. I believe the French course is a part-time course. It could be different, and you can find the schedule on our website.
Isn't there French as a second language program? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we offering that?
Yes. I know because I'm enrolled.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that program.
Yeah. So NBCC also. So just wanted to let you know, guys, that the full-time programs are designed for international students, and you would need and part-time online programs are not available for international students. But as soon as you come here and you have valid study permit, you can apply for part-time courses as well, like French, and some of the programs are available for students. Okay, classes, assignments, homework type, or done in school in real time. I'm basically asking whether I have to log a laptop to school every day, or I can just use a tablet to take notes and do my assignment on PC after school. So how about this question?
Well, for business analysis, you need your laptop every day, unfortunately.
I would say, particularly, like if you're in a laptop-driven program.
Yeah.
So if you're in business or IT or engineering, you'll need your laptop every day. Now, if you're in nursing or early childhood education, that might be a little bit different. But certainly, if you're in business, IT, or engineering, you will need your laptop every day.
So, yep, guys.
Live program, guys.
Would you recommend visit the campus a day prior to start of classes, just to use the campus, the campus Wi-Fi to download and install mandatory software for all students on my laptop? So, what would be your recommendation? Is it necessary for students to attend campus?
Well, they have to be there to register anyways, right?
Yep.
Well, if they do the online,
you can do the online registration.
But if it's not a requirement, it's not mandatory.
Yes.
But certainly you'll find it helpful if you do, because if you can get in and get connected to the Wi-Fi and get your software installed, particularly the software that we provide, right, as part of your technology fee. So your Microsoft Office, and get your Brightspace, your learning management system up and running. Certainly that will be helpful and will probably help you to relax a little bit, but it's not mandatory. We certainly can help you.
Because IT normally provide a link, right?
Yes.
Yes, for them to install.
When you do your online registration, you'll get an email and you'll see a link to IT Starts Here, and that will take you through the steps of installing your software. And so a lot of that software anything that you're going to be using as part of your program will be provided to you. That's part of your technology fee. So you don't need to go and purchase any of that software. But so there are links that you can follow online, but if you're not comfortable with that or that hasn't worked well for you, certainly if you go in early, the IT staff will help you, and that might help you, like I say, to be a little bit more relaxed when it comes time for class.
I should mention that for folks who are doing the live programs, that you do not purchase Office or any other software that you need for your program. You're going to get that.
Yeah,
it comes.
Right. And when Keisha says live program, what she means is learning. What is it? Virtually everywhere.
Well, I don't know.
We always forget what that live stands for.
Sorry.
But it basically means that a laptop is required. So the learning is virtually everywhere. So yes, so make sure that you don't go out and purchase the software that you need, because it is provided by NBCC as part of your technology.
There are cases where students actually purchased Microsoft Office before they came, and then they had to uninstall and install the version that we wanted them to use. So do not purchase Microsoft Office. You'll get that when you get here.
Yeah, and a lot of students ask me about this question, and just want to remind that the next webinar is going to be in regards to technology, and we invite our staff who is going to talk about the technology, because they're wondering if they need to buy a laptop in their home country or here, and about the software. So kind of give you idea that do not buy anything. We will provide you everything on class. If anything else needed, we will let you know. Okay, and just speaking of this, we are going to do international orientation on August 29th. So if you can check our NBCC international page at nbc.ca under Future Student International, there is orientation session. Please register for that. Some of the campus are already full, but we will provide additional information session for students just to make sure that your transition will be smoother. So you will have chance to visit campus and receive all the necessary information. Hi, may I ask if tuition fee is per year basis or per semester? I think I can answer this question. The tuition fee, so you have two options. You can pay for whole year or whole program, or you can pay by semester, and you're gonna have two semesters. It's fall semester and winter semester. The due date for tuition for fall semester would be the first week of September. So that would be your due date for your tuition, and you don't have to pay for whole year. It's not mandatory, but you would need to pay at least for the first semester. Okay. Question is that what things are included in two-year program of automotive technology program? It's a great question. I think the best way to find out what courses included, if you go to NBCC programs, and you can check under description of the program, there is outline the courses, approximate courses that you would need to take. So if anyone would like to know what kind of courses they would need to do, just please check your program at nbcc.ca, and you will find below the description of your program what courses you're gonna take during your academic year. Okay, hi, I'm an incoming student this fall. My only concern is that I still have my dental braces on. Is this still included in the insurance and dental care? It's a great question. It is. You're gonna have your Gallivan insurance, and it definitely covers part of your dental expenses. For more information, please check our website, and you can see what Gallivan covers for the dental allowances. But yes, as you know, insurance is mandatory, and Gallivan insurance specifically covers all your prescription, dental, or any like stuff like glasses or anything that you might need. Okay, just a little bit. It's a little bit off the topic, but yeah, I feel like pardon for my today's. But one question to Haney about school fee. When I log into the student self-service, I notice my fee for the first semester is due. How can I pay for entire program at one instead of paying term? But okay, so for the payment, it's not the topic of our webinar. My best advice for you would be go at nbcc.ca and international page, and under tuition fees there is a payment option link. Just click the payment options and it will lead you to the payments option, so you can see what payments option available. There is from cash to bank transfer, so there is variety of options available. We would recommend to use Pay My Tuition service. It's very convenient for students to pay for their tuition. Another question: can I complete my 2-year course within a year? Unfortunately,
No.
not. We receive a link to register for the TLC session, but there is no option to select the Moncton. And at this time, Moncton campus is full for orientation. We will provide you more information session, and unfortunately, TLC is full for Moncton and St. John, as far as I know. Okay, so what is a typical day like in terms of schedule, class breaks, and etc.? I believe we covered it, but if you can repeat how this.
So a typical day will look like a class starting at 8:30 in the morning and run for 50 minutes. Then you'll have a 10-minute break. So we do kind of 1 hour increments. So 8:30 to 9:30, 9:30 to 10:30, 10:30, 11:30, 11:30 to 12:30, and then there's an hour break during the lunch time. So from 12:30 to 1:30 you'll have a break, and then back in class at 1:30 to 2:30, then 2:30 to 3:20 or 3:30, and then that's kind of the end of the day. Okay. So that's a very typical day, Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 3:20 is sort of officially when the class ends, because you don't get that last 10-minute break. But that's a typical day.
Yep. And just another question. It's in regards to the immigration. Unfortunately, Claire is not here. I cannot cover the immigration question because in Canada, in order to provide advices on immigration and study permit extension, you would need to be a registered immigration consultant, and you can send your question to our Facebook International page, and Claire will get back to you with the answer as soon as she's back from her vacation. Okay, I believe she's Jamaican, so am I.
Where are you from? I'm from Clarendon.
Okay. The question from Trudy Jones. Is there any books needed also for culinary arts management program? It's a good question, and what would you say to the students who is wondering what kind of books do they need to purchase?
That information should be available on the website. It depends on the campus where that is. So, for example, in the Fredericton campus, we use the bookstore at the University of New Brunswick.
Yep.
So, if you go to the University of New Brunswick bookstore website and you choose the NBCC and your program, you'll see a list of books that you need. Mm-hmm. So that's by campus. So you'll need to figure out where that book list is, and that should be published by now. I would think that.
Yeah.
And we do publish it on Brightspace. Right?
Yeah, once they're enrolled in Brightspace, you'll see it there as well.
So yeah, guys, check your Brightspace and the website for books, because it's common question, students wondering if there's going to be changes for books, because sometimes students want to save some money and buy used book from previous year. They're wondering, can they use the same book or?
And it's important to check the books that are on your list, because there may be an opportunity to do that, to purchase used books from previous students. So check your master list, because those lists would have been finalized around the first week of July, I think. Yep. So there should be a final list.
Do we need laptop for culinary arts program? It's a good question. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have instructor for culinary arts, but my best advice for you, don't buy anything. As soon as you arrive at NBCC and start your program, because we have over the 90 programs, different requirements and different courses, our instructor and our staff will provide you the list of necessary items that you would need to purchase, or
Yeah.
we'll provide you like Microsoft Office. You don't need to buy it because it's going to be covered under your student's fee. So just wait until the beginning of the year. And
yeah, I believe if you go to the school's website, underneath the course description, it will tell you whether or not it's a live program, and it will actually give you an overview of materials that you actually need for the program. So you can actually go back to the website and check underneath their course description. There should be something there.
Yep.
Yeah, that speaks to that.
Okay, hello, I'm still waiting for my study permit. Until when should I wait before I need to defer my slot for the next intake? It's a good question. So the latest date would be September 13th when you can attend the class. If you do not receive your study permit, we can defer your program, but you would need to contact our admission office for deferral for the next year. Just let us know as soon as you hear the answer from immigration. And another question about automotive technology program requires a laptop, and Lakeisha mentioned if you go under the description of a program below the courses, you will find the information if you need one or not. And as soon as you arrive at campus, you will be provided with the list items that you would need in order to complete your course.
One thing that I might add is all of our programs use Brightspace as their learning management system. So it's safe to assume that you're going to need a laptop or a device of some sort that you can connect to the internet. Whether or not you need a laptop per se for each day of class might be different, particularly like for some programs like culinary arts or the licensed nurse practitioners and whatnot. So it's probably safe to assume that you will need a laptop or at least a device that will connect to the internet, because we do all use Brightspace as our learning management system. So you'll need to find out the details of exactly what you need, but it's safe to assume that you will need a device of some sort.
Great. Another question comes about the credit transfer. Is it possible for students to transfer credit from their previous education if they did similar courses?
Yep. So there's a process in place for that, and that goes through the registrar's office. So if you're looking to transfer credits from previous learning, you'll do that through the Student Success Center or Student Services at each individual campus. So what they typically ask for is the course that you have taken and the course that you want to be exempt from. They will typically ask you for a syllabus, the details of the course that you have taken. And then once you provide that information, that will go through to the registrar's office. They look for an 80 to 85% match in the competencies, and then they will determine whether they're going to grant you the exception or the exemption, sorry, for that particular course.
Yeah, it's a common question in student, and you can do it only when you enroll and when you come to NBCC, because a lot of times students wondering if they can do course transfer before they come. So in this particular situation, with NBCC, you need to start your study and go through a register office to do your transfer evaluation and transfer your courses. But the option is available for students.
Yes, make sure you do it on time. So there's a deadline. So make sure that if you
as soon as you arrive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a question about acute care program. How many days and hours are we gonna spend per week? And as a general rule.
And I don't know the details of that. I do know that there certainly is classroom time and there's clinical hours, but I'm not sure of the breakdown of that. I don't teach in that program, so that would need to come from one of those instructors.
Yep. And you will receive this information during orientation course, because we have more than 90 programs. We don't typically know all the specific requirements for each and precisely so you would receive all this information during your orientation, and you always can reach the Student Success Center, and we will provide this information.
Because there's going to be things with that acute care program that they're going to need to know about immunization and all that, uniforms and all those type of things.
Yep.
So that information should be available on the website.
Okay, what sorts of exams are conducted, like when and how are they taken regarding the course? So the exams, tests?
We do, yes. Yeah, we absolutely do tests and exams. They're typically done with the class instructor, and oftentimes they're done sort of right in the classroom. So if you're thinking of a university setting where there's a particular exam schedule and everybody's writing their psychology 101 exam in a big, large room, we don't do that. It will be sort of within your program, with your instructor and within your class. So if I'm understanding that question properly.
Yeah, and apart from that too, you do have, for some programs, I believe you do have project-based assessments as well. So rather than having like a comprehensive final exam, you may have like a major project to work on. So the types of assessments varies, but it's pretty much the same setup as any university program.
Great. So can you give the students idea what test they would need to take if they going to study for IT business analysis, and how often?
For IT business analysis, so we do have like regular structured assessments like say multiple choice tests and structured items, projects, and we do have practical assessments as well. It's for this course that we do data analysis, it's strictly practical, right? Mm-hmm. So as I said, it varies across courses, but it's predominantly multiple choice items, structured items, and practical exams and projects. Yeah.
And how often does it happen? Like, is it one time a week, 2 times a week?
It depends. It depends on the course.
Okay.
But typically you'd have like probably 2 major assessments per course per term, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So if you really want to kind of gauge what types of assessments and how many you'll get over the course of the year, it's typically 2 major per course. Yeah.
And at the beginning of each course, within the first 2 classes, each instructor will present you with what we call a course outline. Yeah. And that course outline will include all of the details around your assessment. How many, the value of them. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we do include how, tentative dates, that type of thing. So at the beginning of each course, that will be well laid out for you.
Yep.
Great. Thanks. So guys, you would need to do assessments, tests. So don't be overstressed about this. As we mentioned before, you need to take your time, adjustment period, and our instructor is super friendly, super nice, as you can see from our video. So you should be fine. Here's a question about deferral of the program. Will I be guaranteed of a seat if I defer my intake? So this question is admission related. There is if you decide to defer your program, it's not guaranteed, because our admission office would need still check seats availability, but you have options to defer your program in case you got your study permit refused. And my best advice for you would be check with our admission office at our website. Under how to apply, there is a contact information, or you can send email to international@NBCC if you choose to defer your program. But it's not going to be guaranteed, because we need to check the seats availability. But this option is available for students who, for example, get their study permit refused and they would like to reapply for the next year. This option is available for students to defer their application. My study permit is not received yet, so ask how many days I came late in the college. So the latest dates, as far as I know, would be September 13th. The latest days when you can come and join NBCC, and that's best advice I can give you. I hope you can receive your study permit on time, and if it's not, please let us know. Sometimes students ask me, should I register if I didn't receive my study permit, I would advise you to register for course, because you might receive your study permit and we'll know that your intention to come and study in NBC. And it seems like that's all we have for today. Thank you guys for participation. I personally learned a lot, and I hope our students learn a lot as well. And as I mentioned before, these webinars are going to be posted on our NBCC's website under resources as soon as we finalize all the pre-arrival webinars. And if you have more questions, you can always send us at NBCC International Facebook page. And if I'll try, me or my colleagues try to provide you the best answers they can or advice, or if we don't know the answer for your question, we'll try to refer you to a right person if it's admission related, finance related. So we'll refer you to the right person. And if there's anything you want to say to our students before we wrap up?
No, just thanks for attending the webinar, and we're excited to welcome you here.
Yep.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, and
for me, thanks for attending the webinar. Come with an open mind, be willing to meet new people, be willing to learn new things, and adjust quickly. That's my best advice. All right. Yep. So looking forward to see you guys.
See you guys in Canada soon, and don't miss our next webinar. On Thursday, you will receive email with reminder, and we're going to talk about the money matters, how to open the bank account, and technology. I invite guests who will talk about how to open bank accounts, what you need for that, and about the technology. So if you have questions for that, you will receive. I hope you will receive useful information from next webinar. So see you next Thursday. Thank you guys for participation. Thank you for watching us. Follow our NBCC International page on Facebook. Give us a like and stay tuned. See you in Canada. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, just